I get asked all the time, Shane, what is the best smart lock or the best smart lights, the best this or the best that? Fill in the blank. So today I wanted to go through all of the categories of smart home products that I use, kind of like a lightning round style, and share with you what I think is the best and why. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane and this channel is all about building an easy Apple home, smart home with new videos and live streams published every week. Okay, so I've got chapters down below in case you want to skip around to any certain parts of this video, but I am going to move through this fairly quickly because there are a lot of categories to cover. And honestly, this video is really going to be more about, what I like to use in my smart home rather than what's technically best. My answer to, what is the best anything usually is, it depends. I know nobody likes that answer, but I do really need to know more information about your setup and your goals and things like that to really give a good answer to what is best for you in most cases. So do keep that in mind. What's best for my setup may not necessarily be what's best for yours and vice versa. There's always a number of factors that, should go into any decision. But with that said, these are my favorite go-to smart home products for each category that I am using right now to this day. I've done full videos on a lot of these products, so I'll link those below in case you want to check out any of those after this. But first, let me tell you about my go-to antivirus for all of my devices and the sponsor of today's video, trendmicro. I have been using their premium security suite for years on all my devices to add extra protection against malware, viruses, ransomware, and other threats. You can use it on up to 10 devices, including PCs, Macs, iPads, maybe that new iPhone 15. Pretty much anything, and it's very easy to use and set up. It includes a VPN that you can also use to turn any public hotspot into a secure Wi-Fi connection. It also includes other tools like identity theft protection, parental controls, and even 24/7 emergency assistance. Check out the link in the description and use code SHANE10 for 10% off your purchase. Big thanks to trendmicro for protecting all of my devices and for sponsoring today's video. I've used a bunch of smart shades and still do, but hands down, my favorite is gonna be Lutron Serena. I have their honeycomb shades and some blackout roller shades. Super premium, quiet, they look great, and you can control them with Pico remotes, which I love. But they are very expensive, and they do also require the Lutron Smart Bridge. Some good mid-tier options that I also like are the Eve MotionBlinds or Smart Wings. Both are still very customizable and great quality. If you prefer something even more affordable and don't mind a retrofit option, consider SwitchBot. I use a bunch of these throughout my house because I had existing blind tilts that I wanted to make smart. SwitchBot also sells the SwitchBot curtain, which I recommend if you have curtains in your house that you would like to make smart and, control with Siri, automations, and all that fun stuff. My thermostat of choice is still the Ecobee. I'm using the older generations. I actually got a couple of these, but I don't have any complaints. The reason I love Ecobee is because of the room sensors that I can place throughout the house to help regulate the temperatures, day or night, and of course, it supports HomeKit natively. My air purifier of choice right now is probably going to be the Air Versa. It supports HomeKit over Thread and works well for me. I've been using the Yardian Pro Smart Sprinkler Controller for the past 2 or 3 years. I don't have any complaints with that, and it fully supports HomeKit and has done the job well enough for me to continue using it. For smart light switches, once again, Lutron is going to take this one with their Caseta line of smart switches and remotes. They are expensive again and do require that Lutron Smart Bridge, but they just work so well. And just like the shades, you can use those Pico remotes for 3-way switch setups or to add, additional lighting controls really anywhere without having to do wiring or anything like that. So love these. I honestly don't use a lot of smart bulbs in my house. I prefer smart switches when possible. So I don't consider myself an expert here, but I do have a few by Philips Hue. If you don't mind getting the Hue bridge, you probably can't go wrong with Philips Hue. They're tried and true, work well, been around forever. And you know, as long as you don't mind the high price tag. I do also like Nanoleaf as an alternative. They aren't too expensive, they run on thread, and you don't need an extra hub. Accent lighting is kind of tough because I have so many that I like here in my house. If I was to buy a new light strip today, these are great for, you know, accent lighting. I would get one of the new matter light strips by either Nanoleaf, Aqara, or Govee. Each has their pros and cons. I did make a whole video comparing the three if you want to check out more information regarding those pros and cons. The Eve Flare with thread is amazing. I love these. One of those right back there. Wireless charging, waterproof, portable, just a really cool light right here. I do have all kinds of smart lighting throughout my house, especially here in the studio, including Yeelight Cubes, which you can also see those right back there. That's the Yeelight Cubes. I also have some of those here on my desk. Nanoleaf shapes and lines are, you know, all throughout my studio and some of my favorites. I also have Nanoleaf elements, which look really nice in my wife's office area. Check out my studio tour video if you want to see all the different lighting and stuff that I have here in the studio and around my desk and things like that. I haven't done much with outdoor lighting, but I do hope to get more into this in the near future. I'm a huge fan of the Govee permanent outdoor lights, although they don't natively support HomeKit, so something to be aware of. I am using them with HomeBridge though. Philips Hue probably has the most options for native HomeKit outdoor lighting. Again, Philips Hue is very expensive, but great quality. I do have one of their outdoor Philips Hue lighting fixtures that I like a lot. And I may look into Philips Hue for more of my outdoor lighting in the near future. We'll see. My security system of choice right now is the Abode security system. I have been using this for a few years now, still rocking with this one, and it does support HomeKit natively. My favorite smart lock is going to be the Schlage Encode Plus. A close second is the Aqara U100. Apple Home Key support is a must for me for, you know, my primary locks to the house, and both of these do support it well. For cool indoor lock, I do like the Holomark interior door lock, and I use a couple of these in my house. One of my requirements for HomeKit cameras is support for HomeKit secure video, so that's a must for any camera that I get. I'm currently using the Circle View, a good option for outdoors. I also love the Eve outdoor floodlight camera. I did get rid of all my Eufy outdoor cameras a while back, and I replaced all of those with power over Ethernet cameras. Which I do love. It's a little more work setting up. I'm using the Reolink PoE cameras. But you know, you do have to use scripted or HomeBridge or something like that to integrate them into HomeKit, because HomeKit doesn't, you know, support any PoE cameras natively that I'm aware of. Also, a whole video on that I'll link down below. For indoors, I do like the Eve indoor camera for security reasons. I like their stance on privacy a lot, although probably not the highest quality camera. I also use and recommend any of the Aqara cameras like the G2H Pro or the G3 camera for indoor use. Currently, my go-to doorbell camera is the Logitech Circle View. It's not perfect, but I've tried a few of them, and this one is my favorite and the one I am currently using. All right, sensors. This one's gonna be kind of tough. I'm gonna have to try to speed through these because there's a lot. I'm gonna go with Aqara for indoors, Eve Motion for outdoors, or Philips Hue. I also have a Philips Hue outdoor motion sensor. Again, Aqara here for indoors regarding contact sensors, but for my main access points, I do actually use some of the Abode contact sensors because they tie in well to my security system. So I use those for like my main access points to the house, the main doors, windows and stuff. And then for anything else for automation reasons and stuff like that, closets and things, I'll typically use Aqara sensors because they're just so affordable and cheap and they work really well. There seems to be so many temperature and humidity sensors around my home right now, more than I need for sure. They seem to be built into so many devices, but the Eve Weather is a really cool one for outdoors. Inside, I like the Ecobee sensors because they pair to my Ecobee thermostat really well. Again, I utilize that with some of my comfort settings and stuff. I also like the SwitchBot Hub 2 for temperature and humidity, and of course it acts as a hub, a matter hub to some of my SwitchBot devices like those blind tilts. The Aqara FP2 sensor is a super cool occupancy sensor with some really great features. Now, water leak sensors are super important in my opinion. These have definitely saved my butt a few times. Aqara certainly is my go-to for water sensors. They're small, they can really fit anywhere, battery life lasts forever. I also use the Eve Water Guard. I use one of these, for example, under my sink and route the little sensing cable all the way under my dishwasher. All right, now I get asked this one a bunch, and to this day, there's still really no good smoke alarms with native HomeKit support in the US. At least not that I've used. I do actually have a wireless smoke alarm monitor, it's called, by Abode. Now this doesn't actually detect smoke, but instead it detects the high-pitched sound of smoke alarms. It does connect to my Abode hub, the little security system I was talking about earlier, and the sensor is exposed to HomeKit as a smoke detector. So basically, if any of my, old dumb smoke alarms go off in the house, it'll trigger that little monitor and I will still get notified through HomeKit, can run automations and stuff around it, just like a smart smoke detector. Whew, tough call again here. I use still and have used so many of them. It's hard to beat Aqara if you have an Aqara hub already. They don't look as good as like the 2.0 button or maybe the flick buttons, but they just work so well and are very affordable. And the Omvis scene controller, I actually have one here on my desk. This is a really cool option if you want a scene controller that works in a HomeKit. To control a bunch of different things with different buttons. I'm also having a lot of fun with the new Flick Twist, but it does have its limitations and still no native HomeKit support. I think I'll give this one to Eve Energy for just reliability, energy monitoring, pretty much has everything you would need in a smart plug. A little bit pricey. The Onvis Matter over Thread plug is probably a close second. That one's been working really well for me. Could be a good budget option. My go-to for a smart garage door opener for the past year or two has been the Maris Smart Garage Door Opener. For fan control, I'm once again a big fan of Lutron. I'm lucky enough to have each of my ceiling fans controlled by its own independent switch. If you also have a setup like this, you can just replace that switch with a fan controller. What I love about this is I can use any old fan in my room, any ceiling fan that I like, and it doesn't have to be a specific smart one. Any ceiling fan works, just replace the switch and I now have a smart fan. I actually just replaced a ceiling fan in my bedroom. Didn't worry about it being smart or anything like that, just got a regular old fan, something that the wife wanted, and I'm able to make it smart with a Lutron fan controller. Whew. All right, we've covered a lot of categories. Again, remember, what's best is subjective, and what's best for me might not be what's best for you, depending on your setup and your goals and things like that with your smart home. So do your research, watch videos like I have here on my channel and from other content creators. There will be a ton of videos linked down below that cover a majority of the products that I mentioned here today. And let me know below in the comments, do you agree or disagree with any of my choices? What are your favorites? If you have questions about your setup and what might be best, specifically for you, ask below in the comments, give me a little bit of information and I'll do my best to answer and try to provide some good feedback. Thanks again to TrendMicro for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for watching. Here are a couple more videos that you might want to check out next. I'll see you in the next one.